Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday afternoon. I hope we are all well. I hope we're all okay. Hope we're all had a good weekend, whatever it is you got up to this weekend. Hope it was good. Obviously, international football is officially over now for, well, this summer. I think there's an international break in about 2 months' time. So, so desperate to get back to more international football. So, in theory, what you could say is the transfer market really starts from here. I know not officially, but I'm just saying with everything that's going on now, players are a lot more freer. Agents probably have a bit more license to work, and clubs are probably a lot more aware of what they want to do. So we're going to be talking a little bit about transfers. We're going to talk about, obviously, our two Argentinians that won the Copa America yesterday, and Cristiano Romero and Giovani Lo Celso. Obviously, speaking about Lo Celso and interest from the Spanish League, we're talking about also the Spanish League with Ivan Toney's interest from Atletico Madrid. And there's plenty more still to talk about. So I just want to say that if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. Morning, Oscar. Well, afternoon now. Lo Celso's talent is incredible in terms of ability. He's a level above Matters, in my opinion. Unfortunately, injuries always prevented us seeing it consistently. That's fair. It's definitely on the injury front. It's fair. Madison is overrated. Wouldn't start in any big six teams as a miles clear. I don't know about not starting in some of the top six teams. Some of them aren't very good at the moment. Morning Spurs or afternoon Spurs now. Painful last night, Tottenham says. Yeah, it was a little bit. Hey, Danny, mate, you're right. Good morning, Andy in chat. Condolences, England. It happens, Robert. It happens. The 2020 final. The 2020 final was the one that hurt more. This one, it didn't hurt as much. Afternoon, Johnny. How are you? Ha. What a great day it is today. My GOAT win a trophy and England lose. Who's your GOAT? Cristiano Romero. That's the right answer. Hey, Juddy, how are you? That's all right, Sonia. That's okay. You're human. So yeah, we'll quickly talk about Giovani Lo Celso to start off with, and then we'll follow in with the chat around the Copa America. But Court Offside says that Giovani Lo Celso is on the list of both Valencia and Real Betis, which is nice. First and foremost, I mean, look, the idea that you can sort of play off of two clubs within the same league for interest, it raises, raises transfer values and things like that. I don't think it would be an issue to sell Lo Celso if we wanted to. Obviously, after watching last night, maybe there isn't as much interest in moving him on because obviously he was the man that set up the goal for Lautaro Martinez. But if we were to move him on, and obviously we're playing a very hypothetical game there, if we were to move him on, I think 15 million is more than reasonable in this regard. The issue obviously you have with other foreign leagues is they just don't have the money to buy players from the Premier League, really, unless they're, the bigger clubs. Because the money, like in the Spanish league, especially, if you're not one of the top three, there's not really any money in that league. The money kind of gets hoarded up a little bit more towards the top and towards the rest of the league. It just isn't there. So when you talk about a Valencia, who notoriously over the years have been riddled with, money issues, riddled with debt and things like that. Hence why they're selling players like David Villa, David Silva, Juan Mata, Jordi Alba, amongst a plethora of other players. Betis, obviously Betis was a team that, potentially probably have a little bit more money than Valencia, depending on what the situation is at the moment for them. But the thing is with these £15 million deals is, what does the deal truly look like? Is it a situation where it's proper backloaded, so you don't get much of the money till year 3 or 4 if it's a 5-year deal? That's the other thing you can take away from a lot of these deals. So I like Gio. I always have. I always said that I've always liked Gio, and when fit, he's brilliant. But that's the key thing, isn't it? Those two words: when fit. The answer is not enough. That's the issue. That is the issue. Not enough. I don't think anyone can sit here and say that Gio's not a good player. I mean, look, he was fantastic for Argentina. Obviously getting the assist, like I said, for the Martinez goal. He has had his moments at Spurs this last part, the last season, but just can't stay fit. It just really is that issue, Afternoon, Donna. How are you? Lo Celso in the Premier League just never get a long time for him to move on. Maybe it's the physicality. Maybe it's the intensity of this league that just doesn't suit him. I don't know. I don't know. Glad internationals are over. Oh yeah, so much now. They feel like they went on for months, those internationals. So they're done now. Obviously, Spurs play in just 2 days' time. You know, we're playing Wednesday, 7 p.m. against Hearts. It's the first one that we can actually truly watch. I think we do also have supposedly a behind the closed doors, similar to what we had with Cambridge against Al Ettifaq, the Steven Gerrard Saudi team. I think they're having a game there. I remember reading about it, but don't hold me to that one. Hey, Jason, how are you, mate? If La Liga want the sell side, they only want to pay the minimum fee as possible. So we asked 15, they want to pay 5. Well, for me, what's the point of selling him for 5? Just let him go for free in the summer and we'll hold on to him for another year. Wouldn't hurt, you know? What I can't look at it now, Don. I'm talking anyway. So obviously, let's quickly talk about the Copa. Obviously, the two lads won it. Look, fantastic win for Argentina. I saw a lot of the pictures of people breaking into the stadium basically without tickets. That's a really bad sign. I'm pretty sure the US are hosting the World Cup, so that's a really, really bad sign. But sticking it just to the pitch, I mean, Argentina have, a ridiculous squad for a Copa America in terms of the quality that they have. Now, the other thing is, even with all that being said, I think I'm going to sit here on a limb, and I think it's not. I don't think many of you are going to disagree with me, but Cristiano Romero is their best player. It's not Messi. It's not Martinez. It's nobody else. Romero is their best player. And I think yesterday really cemented him for the fact that he played like an 8 out of 10. His stats were incredible across the 120 minutes of extra time, as obviously being included in that. He really is world class. We're very fortunate to have a player like Cristiano Romero. The other thing is, now you need to build around that player. That player is a star. And, you've got Mickey van der Ven, who looks like he's going to be a really, really great left centre back. Obviously, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what we keep going. On the left back front, you've got Desi Adoya, who looks like a bit of a rock star. Porro seems to work really well with Romero. There is some really good talent. Vicario, obviously, really solid keeper. Some really good talent, but this season, I think you have to win something. You have to. If you don't, I think Romero's gone in the summer. I genuinely really believe that. You have to win something. Win the Europa League, top 4 finish, whatever. Romero then looks at it and goes, hey, we won something. We won a European trophy as well. Now we need to kick on. And this is the thing now, is when you have these great players, how you maintain them, but then add other great players to that. The recruitment has to be fantastic, but the spending has to be right. I talk about, signing of these younger players and then bringing them through the academy and developing them. Brilliant. Love that. I think it's a really smart idea. And adding in sort of not young, but younger sort of pre-prime players into the first team squad. Really happy for that. But then you also need at least 1 or 2 marquees every single summer. That's my attitude now. Kick on, put players in this squad that are really gonna be able to take us up that next level. And Romero's that. Romero makes Van der Ven better. He makes Porro, Vicario, and he makes them all better. Grusian, let's see what I'm assuming he's going to make him better because of it, but add the quality around that player now, because build around that player. We all love Sonny. We think Sonny's great. We love, whatever players in that squad. I'm going to say it, Romero's our best player, and it's not even close. Build around that guy. That is a absolute rock star at the back there. Hey, Joshua, you all right, mate? Barca might get Nico Williams. Yeah, apparently they can afford it. I don't. I stay out. I stay clear of it. Stay clear of it. Yeah, Romero. Oh, mate, Romero was an absolute monster yesterday. So good. I think we should keep Gio. He has quality and creativity that not a lot of players in our team can compare to. Well, look, if there's a situation where you're only going to make sort of 5 or 6 million out of him, there is probably no point moving him on. If I'm honest, if you're going to get 15 plus, then obviously you have to really consider that. But for a few million, it's just not going to be worth it, in my opinion. You might as well let him go for free. Yes, business wise, you may think that's not a great idea, but also you'd have to replace him this summer if you let him go for a few million, which is going to cost you a hell of a lot more. we'll see. Argentina midfield is an engine room. DePaul, unsung hero. I mean, you got McAllister, you got Lo Celso, DePaul. You got a lot of really solid midfielders that all know their job. Yamal 17 winning trophy for Kane. Yamal's the same age as me now. Yamal is 11 years younger than me. I have finished them. A long time ago, Donna, to be honest. I finished them about 11 years ago. Facts can't lose Romero, not at all. Olmo, Eze, and Toney would be a dream transfer window. I think Olmo is going to be going to City. Toney we'll talk about in a minute, and Eze will, let's see. I think Olmo could play, well, again, I think Olmo will be off to Man City. Right, moving on to a little bit of Ivan Toney flavoured news. Obviously, we talked about Ivan Toney at depth when it comes to Spurs, and we talked about the situation with Spurs maybe aren't as keen. I think Spurs are keen, but maybe they're not as keen as we first thought. So an exclusive from Graham Bailey said that Atletico Madrid have shown interest in Ivan Toney as a possible Alvaro Morata replacement. Now, obviously, Morata, I believe, goes to AC Milan. If I'm not mistaken, I think he goes to AC Milan this summer. And obviously, they need to replace him. Ivan Toney somewhat is of a similar-esque style in terms of, height and presence and things like that. Obviously, different in terms of style of play. Morata's a lot more about energy. Will Atleti have the money to spend? Obviously, that's another story. We've seen conflicting reports that it's like 40 million to like 60 million. I think you'll be lucky to get anything like 50 plus, in my opinion, for an Ivan Toney. Levy's wasting time again. Oh, Kyrie. All right. Well, international football's only just finished today, mate. Let's give it a mo. 55 million for Lo Celso down the drain. I don't think it was 55, was it? I think it was a little bit less than that. Hey, Simon, you're right. Yeah, time this week, hopefully, to speed up on some transfers, ins and outs, obviously, with Emerson Royale, with Højbjerg, with those sort of players. Hopefully, we start to pick up a little bit ahead of steam on moving those guys on. You have children older than you, Mal. Yeah, he's ridiculous, isn't it? Olmo is definitely Silva's replacement at City. Yeah, well, people talking about he's the Gundogan replacement, which I can kind of see as well. But I think Silva is looking to move on. Euros over. So when do we announce Toney as a Nico Williams and Olmo? Definitely not. Definitely not Shemtan. Jesus Christ, Donna. Any chance for Tottenham transfer news? Well, technically, Marshall, I just talked about Lo Celso. It was at the start of the video. That's technically Tottenham transfer news. So, yes, a little bit there on... hang on a second. So, Galatasaray have been talking about Højbjerg. The vice chairman said that Højbjerg is a very good player. He has many suitors. He says he wants to decide after seeing all options. It may take more time than others. Well, I just think that's a player that's got a few options on the table, looking around at the market, maybe even seeing maybe a few deals for the central midfielders happen, and then kind of going from there in terms of, maybe because obviously we talked about Atletico Madrid being interested in Conor Gallagher. What does Dortmund do in the midfield? I don't think Højbjerg wants a Galatasaray move. I think he wants a Dortmund, Atletico Madrid move. I mean, he was probably going to be interested in Juventus. I mean, AC Milan have been linked, So I think there's a lot there for Højbjerg to kind of sift through in terms of the market. But I think that's another player we're not going to struggle to move on, if I'm honest. That's a player that has quality. He's a solid player, never going to let you down below like a 6 out of 10. He's never going to rock your world and give you more than an 8 out of 10. But in the right system is a consistent 6.5, 7 out of 10. I think Atletico Madrid is that system. Maybe AC Milan, depending on their midfield. I'm not too sure, but he would suit Atletico to the T. This is the first time I've seen Olmo play at all. Looks like a Rolls Royce midfielder. He is a solid player, yeah. Too much, Donna. Too much. So yeah, plenty in that one. Talk about Gio and Cuti winning the Copa America. talking about obviously Gio's interest with Betis and Valencia. Talking about Atletico Madrid's interest in an Ivan Toney. Looking at a potential deal there. Obviously, plenty. Is Emerson ever going to leave? He will. He will leave. He will leave. I won't block Donna, but a timeout may need to happen at some point or other. So, anyway, but thank you very much for joining me. A little short one because I don't think there's a lot to talk about today. So not a long one, obviously. Obviously, back later on at 7 o'clock talking some more transfers as well as that. Going to be looking to sort some stuff for the second channel today, hopefully. Do subscribe to the second channel. The link is in the description below. And yes, thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. And I'll see you all a little bit later on. Talk some more Spurs. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing afternoon. See you later.